mic is on.
Hey, so we are here with Allie Canal, entertainment reporter for Yahoo Finance. Allie, thank you for joining me on Balkan Stories.
Thank you. Cheers.
Let's cheers. Yeah, let's start off with the cheers.
Love it.
All right. So, Allie and I met a little while back at a friend's event, and really, was really interested in learning that you're an entertainment reporter at Yahoo Finance, which seems like a thing that wouldn't be there. So, tell me a little bit about the role and how you started covering celebrities at Yahoo Finance.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because I started my career at People magazine, and if you would have told me 6 or 7 years ago, oh, you'd be working at Yahoo Finance, it's like, I don't think so. I'm not a finance girl. Like, I like pop culture, celebrity stuff. But circumstances led me to Yahoo Finance, and when I got there, I noticed that a lot of the conversations we were talking about, media, streaming, box office, actors' pay, all of that stuff, was business, and it kind of opened my eyes to this smarter way of looking at celebrities, of looking at Hollywood, and I just became so fascinated by the ecosystem there. So I'm a reporter. I do a lot of different types of coverage, from the box office to the streaming wars to individual companies, but it's been such a great journey of learning so much about the business side of a lot of these businesses and what makes them tick from a financial perspective as well.
And a ton of celebrities, obviously, as I'm sure you know, get into the hospitality industry, whether it's restaurants, whether it's bars, liquor brands. Tell me a little bit about some of the stories you've covered or some of the experience you've had learning about that world, and how celebrities get into these different entrepreneurial endeavors that are in the hospitality world.
Yeah, so many. I mean, I talked to Justin Hartley from This Is Us. He has a tequila brand. Chris Harrison has a restaurant in Texas. There are just so many of these actors that are interested in the restaurant business, interested in the alcohol business, and I would say the alcohol business in particular is a really big one for a lot of these celebrities. You hear about the Kendall Jenners of the world with their brands and skincare. Not that that's another big thing that I think a lot of celebrities lean on, because it's just easy access to consumers, right? I feel like everyone's drinking, everyone's like trying to get their skin, everyone's eating. Like that's just America at the end of the day. So I feel like if you are a celebrity and you hit a certain point in your career, why not explore different types of business endeavors? And I just think that side of the industry is really fascinating too.
What has been the most interesting celebrity business endeavor that you've covered, or one random thing you're like, I would have never thought I'd be covering this, or that this particular celebrity would be into this particular business?
Yeah, I mean, I just brought up the Justin Hartley story, but that was interesting too, because his tequila brand, it was like in the mountains of Mexico, and there was this whole like serious process that went into it, and the agave and all the different elements of tequila, which I didn't realize. You think of tequila as just like throwing it back at a dive bar in college, but there's a process to things, and I think it's great if you have a passion for alcohol or a passion for a certain type of brand to want to explore that more. And as a celebrity, I think that's awesome. And I would just say in general, I am super interested by what's going on in the streaming wars right now. Warner Brothers, Discovery, all the changes there, and HBO Max combining with Discovery Plus. There's just so much happening in media right now that not only affects these companies, but also affects us as a consumer, because our viewing habits have changed. The pandemic has absolutely changed everything, and I think it's interesting just to think back 2 or 3 years ago how different life was back then, and particularly in the entertainment industry. I feel like there's been a reckoning there and a long-term impact when it comes to the future.
And do you have any predictions? Do you have any hot takes on what do you think, who's gonna, if not win the streaming wars, who's a dark horse? Let's not say win. Like who's somebody you think people aren't paying attention to?
I think
this?
Amazon Prime and a lot of these tech giants are actually the dark horse, because if you think about Netflix or even a company like Warner Bros. Discovery, investors are really focused on profitability, on free cash flow, really proving that the streaming model is here to stay, that this is a business model that works. Whereas Amazon or Apple, they could fail a couple times. They don't need to have a win every single time, because it's not their core business. As long as Apple's making iPhones, they're going to be fine, and they can take that money and kind of mess around in the streaming world. And you've seen them do a lot of really great things. I mean, Coda won Best Picture at the Oscars. Amazon Prime is coming out with a new Lord of the Rings series that cost $465 million to produce one season, but Amazon can do that because it's a huge tech company and they have the money and the resources. So I think keep an eye on a lot of these tech giants, but I do think there's going to be a lot more consolidation in streaming overall as well.
You say you're not a finance girl, but you said profitability, you named you named numbers,
Exactly. Like
I feel like it's rubbing off.
I've learned a lot, and I'll joke with my friends like, "Oh, fake it till you make it," and they're like, "No, like you know stuff now."
Exactly.
Like, okay, yeah, I guess I've been in this role for about 4 years now, so I definitely learned a lot of things, earnings calls, whatnot. So it's just crazy just to see the growth when you're in something every day.
And I think that is interesting. So how do you talk? We talked a little bit before we got on about how you doing your off time. So you're a vodka girl. You're sipping a lovely Cosmo here at Great Jones Distillery, and shout out to them for having us. And I am doing my tried old fashioned. What does the off time look like? What is a good hangout night? You want to kick back? You want to? Well, ironically, you're like me. There was one point where I couldn't go to concerts anymore because I used to be a music writer, and I was like, I'm sort of burnt out. So, are you still streaming? Are you going home and turning on TV? Are you something different?
I just watched the Netflix movie Look Both Ways the other day. So yeah, I do still like vegging out. I've noticed as I've gotten older, I only have like one good night in me to go out, and so I appreciate the moments where I'm just relaxing in my bedroom with like some candles on, watching TV shows. I'm like sound like I'm getting old, which is true. I am. But yeah, I just like hanging out with friends, family. My family's super important to me, especially in the summer. I feel like I live out of a bag because I try and go down the shore as much as I can to soak up the sun and the beach. That's sort of my main happy place. But it's the little things, and I think I've learned that as I've gotten older. Just the little moments that you're just like, okay, I'm good. Like this is where I need to be.
Okay. Well, if anyone knows me, they know I'm a tried and true Jersey boy. So you are
Jersey
a Jersey girl. So yes, I am North, you're South. It's okay.
Yep.
No beef there.
But it's pork roll, though. Not Taylor
It's
ham.
not. Okay, we could take this offline. No, it's Taylor ham. It is Taylor ham.
Pork
And I guess you're also like a Eagles fan.
Of course I'm an Eagles fan. Go Birds.
No, all right, sure. This is it.
This is where the divide
comes in. But
it really is a rivalry, North and South Jersey.
Yes, but we will fight anyone who talks about Jersey, period.
Yes.
We are very
Amen. We're united on that front.
So yes. Okay, so what is, what's the dream? What's the dream interview? Dream interview in the celebrity entertainment. So what does you say? You want to do one thing?
I mean, it sounds so cheesy. If I could talk to like any of the Kardashians,
yeah. Oh, okay.
Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian, I just feel like they get a really bad rap from a lot of people. But you gotta respect the hustle. You gotta respect the business prowess and how they've been able to just transform the brand over the years and really leverage peak TV, leverage social media, and now leveraging streaming on Hulu. It's sort of every iteration of media they've taken advantage of and have been there at just the right moment to catapult themselves onto the next thing. And I just respect that, and I would love to just pick their brain about what's next and how they really go about and approach all their different businesses, because they're a brand, they're a business. Love them or hate them, they are making serious waves in entertainment and the business world. So I would love to talk to them.
Okay, so Kardashian PR calls you and say you have Kris, Kim, and Kylie, but you don't get one.
I think I would go with Kim.
Okay.
Although any of them would be great, but I feel like Kim was really, and I just think it's cool everything she's doing with the law degree now, and she's just kind of broadening herself outside of what she was known for back in the day. So I feel like she'd be an interesting interview. But that's a really tough one because I feel like all three would be very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like they all have different. All have different paths. I feel like
Kris Jenner, she's the momager. She's like the brain behind everything too. So another interesting one.
And I believe she also loves a good vodka drink.
Oh, I love it.
There we go.
Girl after my own heart.
Okay, cool. Well, since I'm gonna edit this, anything else I can ask you that's of interest, since you are also an interviewer?
I know, right?
What else is interesting about you?
What is interesting about me? It's a very loaded question. I guess what's your background too? Like, I know you started in the drink business, or
no? I started out. My family owned a dive bar in North. So never wanted. Ironically, it was that's when dive bars were really dive bars. So Never had an interest in doing that. Like you,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go into I want to be a writer. I want to be an entertainment writer. Came to the city, fell in love with the city, went to school here, was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna be a music writer. So yeah, wrote for Billboard,
That's
wrote for
awesome.
other places for years. And then again, the opposite of like, when you dream about, you get what you want, you get that dream.
Yeah.
It sometimes turns, and it was like, yes, it was like, you know, I was somebody who loved grilling or loved eating sausages, but I saw how sausages got made every day, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to eat sausage anymore.
Yeah.
To run that metaphor into the ground. So it was like, I needed to step back from that part of my life, but I still like creating, still like writing. So a couple years ago, I started, you know, when people were doing food porn, I just started doing drink porn because I would be at bars, I'd be traveling for work. At this point, I was doing digital marketing, I'd be traveling for work, and I'd just hang out at a bar for dinner, to grab dinner. You know, if I'm by myself, I would eat at a bar, talking to bartenders, and every bartender I ever met was like the most interesting person in the world because no one grows up wanting to be a bartender, at least they did back then. So, yeah, just hearing all their stories, it was like, all right, it started being more than just about taking the drink. But it was like, what made you make this drink? And then I started getting into the spirits themselves. And
awesome.
yeah, so just kind of became obsessed with like telling stories through that lens and still talking to people like you about, you know, about how they tie into that world. Like we met through, you know, we have Anna, and Anna is a great person on the spirit side, but we also talk about music all the time. So it's like, what is that, how kind of having a great cocktail with someone, which is kind of the premise of these, is the purpose of like just getting to know someone and having and learning about them, but also learning about what people drink will tell me a little bit about them typically.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will say to a person like, you know, Joe does this all the time. He's out of part of this interview. He'll say, "Oh, what should he'll go somewhere and text me, what should I drink?" Like, I know you well enough, but also, what do you want? Like, there is, how do you feel? Like we were saying earlier, like, you know your boyfriend's a little fashioned guy.
Right.
But there'll be times where, he might just want straight whiskey, or, you know, I know my wife loves wines, but there are times when she's having a rough day. I know she wants a dirty martini. Like, where are you in your day? What time of the honestly, what time of the year is it? You know, it's all these things that make people who they are, and that those things, the same way people will talk about what are your favorite, you know, what are your top 3 albums or top 3 movies, I think tells a lot about you.
For sure.
In some ways, obviously doesn't tell everything.
No, I think that's super interesting, and I totally agree. I feel like bar, restaurants, like dining, like going out to dinner is one of my favorite things ever. And my dad always is like, why are you spending so much money on like just like food? I'm like, because there's like a community aspect to it. It's like the one time where you put the phone away, you put social media away, and you just focus on the other person and really have a conversation, whether it be at a bar or like a restaurant of sorts. And I just feel like that connection, especially in today's world, you can miss out on pretty easily. So like that's why I love going out to dinner. Like one of the things I love about being in New York, which is why it was so hard during the pandemic, when I feel like a lot of this stuff was just eliminated. Like going out to bars was eliminated. Like dining was eliminated, and that was, I think, a really rough period for people not to be able to connect in that way.
Yeah, I would say I'm terrible in that. Yes, I will put my phone down, but it's after I've taken the photos of all the drinks.
Of course, but like that's like.
But yeah, but then
part
it's
of
like
your thing.
but then it is that connection. Again, to your point, I think it's not only that connection with the person you're dining with, but I've even extended to, you know, you go places enough, like you know the waiters, or you know bartenders, or you know if you have your regular places too, especially, or just learning that experience. I think even, not to blather on, but even going to different cities, I think that the first time you walk into a restaurant in a new city, like I rather talk to the waiter will tell you more than probably most concierges, because they're like, oh yeah, they're from there, they will tell you the things that yes, you can do your, you know, hit Nashville, yes, you want to do all the key things, run the op, etc. But there may be a great bar or restaurant or experience in general that they know that's more local.
For sure. And that's like, I think, key, and I'm notorious for doing that. Like I'll ask everyone, every waitress, everywhere, I'm like, what should I order here?
Right.
Like even like as simple as that, and then it can go beyond like, all right, well, where should I go here?
Yeah.
Like I feel like getting that local perspective is so important too. And I love traveling. I love visiting different places and cities and kind of stepping out of my comfort zone a bit. Like
What's your most recent favorite destination?
So I just went to Newport, Rhode Island for the first time, which I thought was super, super cool. I'm going out to LA for work, and I've never been to LA or California for that matter.
All right.
So I'm a little nervous for myself because I feel like I'm gonna love it, and like, but I don't know.
I mean,
I'm an East Coast girl, so I'm not sure if that's.
You like the beach,
But I love the beach, so. I don't really know how that's gonna go, but I'm excited to really see the city and experience that.
When you get back, I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
I have a take. I have a feeling already.
A lot of people do have hot takes on LA, so I'm curious too, especially because I'm like you. I grew up like coming to the city every so often and just being so like entrenched by it. Like I was just, there was a magic about the city. So when I graduated, I did know 100% like this is where I'm coming, and I feel like I have such a connection to New York and always have. So curious how my LA experience is gonna go.
I think I would take on how y'all.
Okay.
What I will tell you about my LA, and the first time I went to LA, hated it. Second time I went to LA, hated it. Third time I went to LA, loved it. I found my part of LA that I really like.
Yes, which I think is the same with New York. Like you need to like try the different neighborhoods and find like the areas that you enjoy.
And it's weird though. My favorite part of LA is downtown LA, which looks like New York City.
Okay.
It looks like a very New York City. It's dirty. It's
you like feel like connection to home.
Yes. Everything's a little more closely connected. I mean, I love the beach. I love it's beautiful to drive out to Beverly
I love like
Hills.
not having to drive.
Right.
I gotta say.
Yes.
And like I like that I can walk home to my apartment, or I can walk to like a coffee, walk to get a cup of coffee, and I don't need to get in my car. Especially what I've heard from LA traffic. I don't know if I'd be down to like be driving an hour every time I want to go somewhere. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
There we go.
That's the New Yorker in us.
Yes. So all right. So my last official question I love asking everyone, no matter what interview I'm doing, is, and we can't say the Kardashians because that was an interview. You could have a drink. Have a nice Cosmo here. You can have the Cosmic Cosmo of Great Jones Distillery with one person dead or alive. What is it?
One person dead or alive? That's a really tough question. I feel like I'd want to talk to It's a big question.
I like that you're really giving.
I'm really trying to think
You're
really,
going
really
deep.
hard.
Okay.
Of because there's so many ways you can go.
Yeah, I
like
will
the
give you an example.
philosophical life way.
Yes, I've gotten
like
those.
career way.
I've gotten those. I've gotten the family member who is no longer with you that you
right.
really
I
love
thought about that
way.
too. I'm
Yeah, you're right. I would say there's no wrong answer. It's the mood. It's always the mood during at that moment.
It's like the mood during that moment. I mean, my mind is going to my mama who passed away when I was in 3rd grade, and she was my mom's mother, and she was young, and she passed away, I think, 62, and she died of colon cancer, but I feel like I'm entering a stage in life where, like, a lot of things are going to start to happen, right? Like, even I'm seeing it with my friends, like, marriages, babies, and I would love to, like, talk to her about, like, where I'm at. I was the first granddaughter, I was very close with her, first grandchild, I should say. And just kind of have a drink with her and like see how she feels like I'm doing in life and how I've been, how I've gotten to where I am. Because I feel like a lot of times it's so easy to not appreciate where you are and how much you've done to get to where you are. It's like easy to kind of say, oh, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not where I want to be in any aspect of life, your career, your personal. So I just think to like have that conversation with someone who obviously knows you, loves you, would be an interesting person to kind of dive deeper into. But there's a lot of different.
That was a damn good answer. No.
Okay, good.
So
I'm glad because I was like, that's a hard
cheers
question.
Cheers to my mom, and cheers to perspective.
Perspective.
There you
Yes.
go.
Amen. Cheers.
Cheers. I think that was a perfect note to end on.
Perfect.